Today, we're diving into a really fascinating text from the author Shifeng of Life Chen Yarn. It lays out two philosophies of love that are just complete polar opposites, and they force us to confront a question that gets right to the very heart of how we connect with each other.
So let's just start with that big question, shall we? If I love you, do you have to love me back? How you answer that one simple thing says a whole lot about what you believe about life, about connection, and about responsibility. The material we're looking at today says there are really only two ways to answer it, and they couldn't be more different.
So the text calls these two viewpoints the human world and the thousand-year realm. Now, you can think of the human world as, well, pretty much our default setting. It's the way most of us are taught to think about love. But the thousand-year realm, that's presented as a totally different, transcendent, and spiritual way of looking at things that basically flips everything we think we know on its head. So let's break down just how different these two views really are.
All right, first up, we're looking at the very essence of love itself. Is it something you have to earn, something that needs to be returned, kind of like an exchange? Or is it more like a gift, something you give freely without expecting anything back?
Okay, so the human worldview says that, of course, love has reasons. It has conditions. You love someone because they're funny or smart or kind. It makes sense, right? It's almost transactional. But the thousand-year realm view is completely absolute. It says real love has no reasons, no conditions. It just is. It doesn't depend on what the other person does or who they are.
And you can see how that first idea directly leads to this one. If love is conditional, then in the human world, your love places an obligation on the other person. It's like saying, I love you, so now you must be responsible for my feelings. My love becomes a kind of debt you have to deal with. The thousand-year realm just throws that idea out completely. It says you don't have to be responsible for my love. It's my gift to give, not your burden to carry. My feelings are mine, and they don't put any demands on you at all.
Okay, so if love is either a transaction or a completely free gift, how does that change the way a relationship actually works? What's the goal? Is it to, possess one another? Or is it to set each other free?
So in the human world, we all know the script, right? The goal is that lovers should end up together, build a home, create a shared life. It's all about partnership and domesticity. But the thousand-year realm argues that, well, that's not the point. It says lovers don't need to end up together. Their connection goes way beyond needing a shared house or a formal piece of paper.
And that, of course, brings us to commitment. The conventional ideal in the human world is till death do us part. Lovers stay together for life. The thousand-year realm offers something totally radical in response. Lovers can separate at any time. The connection isn't some promise of permanence, it's just a reality right now. And if it changes, that's not a failure. It's pretty clear that in this view, freedom is way more important than lifelong obligation.
So we've got this major tension between obligation and freedom. But now we get to what might be the most challenging, most radical idea in this whole philosophy. Just how wide should we cast the net of our love? Is it meant for just one person or for everyone?
And there it is, just laid bare. The romantic ideal of the human world is all about exclusivity. I only love you. That singular focus, we see that as the deepest form of devotion. But the thousand-year realm says, nope, its ideal is universal. I love everyone. It's not about loving one person any less, it's about extending that same unconditional love to every single person.
And this quote from the text is where things get really controversial. From the perspective of the thousand-year realm, exclusive love isn't just not the ideal, it's actually harmful. Exclusive love is most harmful to the collective and society. The argument here is that this possessive, one-on-one kind of love is what creates jealousy, division, and conflict, whereas universal love, in their view, would create harmony.
So, after all that, where does this leave us? We've got two paths that are just complete opposites. In this last section, we're going to look at what the author says are the ultimate consequences of choosing one path over the other. And this isn't just about being happy, it's about the entire fate of your soul.
According to this text, the source of our biggest heartaches comes straight from the human world's playbook. Without your love, I will be in unbearable pain. It's that dependency, that idea that our entire well-being rests in someone else's hands, that's seen as the root of all this suffering. In total contrast, the thousand-year realm says, there is love everywhere. There is no unbearable pain. Because if you love universally, you can never truly be cut off from love, so that kind of pain just can't exist.
And this brings us right to the author's final ultimate claim. These aren't just different lifestyle choices. The text argues that worldly exclusive love is the #1 cause of suffering for people and for society as a whole. And on the flip side, it claims that a lack of this universal, unconditional love is the single biggest roadblock that keeps a person from reaching enlightenment. I mean, the stakes really could not be higher.
So let's just do a quick recap of these two clashing visions. On one side, you've got the human world. Love that is conditional, exclusive, possessive, and, according to the text, ultimately leads to suffering. And on the other side, you've got the 1,000-year realm, a love that's unconditional, universal, totally free, and is held up as the one true path to fulfillment.
And that brings us back around to a bigger question. This text from Xu Feng gives us two completely different blueprints for love. And it makes you wonder, it's not just about what makes a better relationship, is it? It's about what makes a better world. The human world with its deep, exclusive bonds, or the 1,000-year realm with its free, universal love? The text has a very clear answer, but what do you think? Which path really leads to a better world?